The Reds win against Brentford just as we knew they could. And the captain faces the sting for singing God Save the King. And the Reds now need to show some heart as the top four rivals begin to fall apart. The good, the bad and the ugly at Liverpool FC, reviewed for Game Week 35. Roll the intro, Jeff. So welcome back to the channel for the latest episode of The Good, the Bad and the Ugly at LFC podcast. So again, I'd like to say a huge thank you for all the support, all the love. The channel continues to grow, and of course, thanks very much, as I say, for all of the likes and the subscribing. So remember, if you haven't already, please like, please subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, and spread the word so we can grow the community. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and the good old-fashioned www.thelfcfile.com. Let's get into it with the good. And this has to be, of course, the 1-0 win against Brentford. That makes the second 1-0 win in a row. So it's beginning to be boring Liverpool. So yeah, Mo Salah's goal on 13 minutes turned out to be the winner. And at the same time, I believe his 100th goal at Anfield. Congrats, Mo. Please keep it up because we need your goals at the moment. So as you can see here, the Mail Online has the headline, Mohamed Salah's first half goal, his 30th of the season, gives Liverpool a 6th straight win as they beat Brentford 1-0 to move to within 1 point of Man United in 4th as they chase an unlikely Champions League place. Joe Bernstein, he may well refer to this as an unlikely Champions League qualification, but had that been 6 weeks ago, he'd probably been right. Had it been pretty much throughout the whole season, I think he'd been right. The thing is, the way Liverpool are playing at the moment, it is indeed quite likely. And I'll tell you why a bit later in the Smugly when we talk about the others that are giving us a little helping hand. On current form, I'd say this is more than likely right now. To be successful in the Premier League, what you always need is a good run of results. And I think Liverpool, it's fair to say, are stringing that together at the moment. It's also fair to say that Liverpool have left it late, and I hope things continue to go our way as we turn around the final corner and into the final furlong of the season. So if we look at the form guide, Liverpool, off the top of my head, they must be second or third, I would say, at least. And as if by magic, here we can see a form guide from transfermarket.co.uk, and Liverpool are of course second to none other than Manchester City over the last 8 games. So we're one of the teams to beat at the moment. But in fairness, Liverpool did have to dig in and weather the storm. Brentford played a typical away game that so many teams seem to employ at Anfield these days, where they sit back, soak everything up, and try and nick a goal or two, and maybe 3 points, of course, on the break. And it did almost pay off for Brentford. Bremo, what's his name? I think Brian Bremo, had a goal disallowed, quite rightly, for offside. So, yeah, all's well that ends well. In terms of performances, Alisson had a very good game. Trent, what can you say? Still doing very well in this inverted right back position, as they call it. Probably along with Fabinho for the goal, where he lofted a nice pass over that I think was Gakpo. No, it was, Van Dijk headed over and Salah knocked in. Trent made a beautiful pass and Gakpo just wasn't able to finish, unfortunately, but that was probably the pass of the game, I would say. But as has been mentioned by various sources, Trent Alexander-Arnold could well save Liverpool a ton of cash in the summer season transfer market. Of course, they do need another midfielder. Yeah, we all know, sadly, Hendo, and we'll come on to him in a minute, Hendo is pushing on a little bit. Thiago, well, injured again, as per usual. Fabinho, put me teeth in. Fabinho, he's beginning to show his age a bit. The last couple of games, I think he's played very well, actually, much more like the Fabinho we know. but I think it's obviously time to look at a long-term replacement for the guy. Curtis Jones also put in another great shift, and he's beginning to really show the promise that he's had coming to the fore. Cody Gakpo, I think he'd be disappointed. He missed one or two chances, but it's not taking anything away from his quality, to be honest. This brings us on to the bad. And this has got to be, in my opinion, of course, the fans' treatment of Jordan Henderson over the weekend. As we all know, it was King Charles's coronation, and as histrionics would have it, yes, of course, Liverpool haven't been that fairly treated by, let's call it, the establishment over the years. Not just for Hillsborough, and we all know what's happened there, but of course before that in the 1980s, when there was the riots in Toxteth, there were many political attempts basically to bring the city down. The royal family, as the direct employers of the government, have also come in for some stick. And of course, there's been a couple of controversial statements made by one or two members of the royal family about the city as well in the past. So it's understandable that certain sections of the Liverpool support decided to boo the national anthem. However, Jordan Henderson, as we know, he's a patriotic lad. He loves playing for England. Yeah, he came in for a lot of stick. There was on social media a fair bit of comment about it. So, of course, the Daily Star, as we can see here, of course, through the magic of YouTube, had the headline, Liverpool fans fume at Jordan Henderson for defying boos and singing the national anthem. So, of course, yeah, the Daily Star wasn't the only one. This was covered in quite a few news outlets. But what can you say? I mean, it's the guy's entitled to do his thing. And there was one fan, he said, sell him for singing it. And another disappointed Red said, pathetic, embarrassing clown. I mean, come on, guys. Yeah. I mean, who knows what is going on with the royal families or the governments in Brazil, yeah, in Holland, in Egypt, all those three countries at least, yeah, in France. We have players from those countries. If they're going to sing the national anthem at the next World Cup, so what happens if we don't agree with what their countries are doing? Should we sell them? I don't think Jordan Henderson is responsible for what's been said or done in the royal family or, of course, in the government. And at the end of the day, he's been a great servant to the club. I really think some supporters need to get their head in gear, to be perfectly honest. And it's quite likely that more was made out of the social media response. I think there's equally as many. I haven't looked into it actually on social media. I think that sort of stuff is just nonsense, to be honest. I think there's just as many supporters that would have backed Jordan Henderson. I don't think this is any reason to sell the guy. I mean, duh. it is actually laughable. If I stop grinning. This brings me on to the smugly this week, which is, of course, the demise of Manchester United. Newcastle closely following as well. They imploded against Arsenal, even though they played a very good game and they were absolutely unlucky not to get anything out of that. How they didn't score, I've got no idea. But anyway, score they didn't and lose they did. The main smugly has got to be the crowd, the noisy neighbours from the other end of the East Lancs Road, none other than Man United. The Mancs now sit a point ahead of us in fourth. They've got a game in hand, to be fair, but I think you can see that the nerves are getting to them now, and quite rightly, the Mirror reports crumbling Man United are falling apart as Liverpool can smell blood in the top four hunt. It looks as if the pressure is getting to United. If Liverpool continue their form, yeah, when all is said and done, all they can do is just win and beat whoever's put before them. They've only got 3 games. Yeah, so let's see. But Man United really shot themselves in the foot. I saw the game against West Ham. Man U are pretty average, to be fair. They've had their period of form this season, and it looks as if they've fallen off drastically. United have got 4 games left. Let me see. They've got Wolves, Bournemouth, Chelsea and Fulham. And Liverpool, on the other hand, 3 remaining fixtures. I think there's only one at home, isn't there? So it's away to Leicester, home to Aston Villa, and away to Southampton. So, yeah, you know what? I personally believe that this is going to go down to the last game of the season. It is, of course, a tough call, and it's not really a call you can make because it's out of Liverpool's hand. It's all about ifs, buts, and maybes. If Liverpool were to succeed at the expense of Man United, then, well, I think we can all say that this is a pretty successful season, even given the rough ride that we've had so far. Let's wind it up there. That's all from me for this week. I'm trying to keep this short, and also my battery's running very low on the camera, so can't gab for too much longer. Thanks for everyone for the continued support. Thanks for watching. There's going to be another one next week. Let's see what happens at Leicester. I think they're playing on Sunday. So let's see what happens against Leicester, and hopefully another 3 points in the bag. Thanks everyone. Again, remember Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and of course www.thelfcfile.com. Remember to like, subscribe, tell your friends, and of course if you've got anything to say, please leave a comment. I'm always happy to hear. Until next time, peace. The LFC File.